Hello, my name is Ajay Kumar. I'm an accountant, a CPA at Sai CPA Services. Today, we'll talk about PPP Round 2. What is this all about? What if you haven't received the loan forgiveness for PPP 1? Should you apply for it? What if you haven't used the money completely? Are you going to get the forgiveness? Is it going to be taxable for you? What's the process? Where should you apply? Let's dig in. PPP, Paycheck Protection Program, Round 2 is the second round of the Paycheck Protection Program. If you recall, few months ago, we had PPP 1, Paycheck Protection Program 1, and the idea was you could get 2.5 times of the monthly average payroll from 2019. If your business is impacted under COVID-19 and you can justify it, you don't have to return this money back. Initially, 6 months ago, when the program initially came in, this money was supposed to be taxable income for you. Then later on, Congress changed the rules, and now if the money is forgiven under PPP round 1, that money is not taxable to you. We know COVID is still here. Initially, when PPP round 1 came, we were expecting COVID-19 to go away in 3 months, 3 weeks. It's a year now and COVID-19 is still here. So the government came up with second round of the same program. But this PPP round 2 has several restrictions around it. In PPP 1, there was no limit on the number of employees you could have. In PPP round 2, you do not qualify if you have more than 300 employees. In PPP round 1, you did not have to justify with financials that your business is being impacted. All businesses were allowed to dig in, allowed to apply for it, allowed to get the money in. In PPP round 2, you have to justify that your revenues have gone down, at least for 1 quarter, year over year, by 25%. So let's say, for example, second quarter of 2020, we'll compare it with the second quarter of 2019, and we'll have to show not the profit, not the bottom line, the revenue, the gross receipt are at least 25% lower. You can justify it by showing the bank statement. If you are doing the cash basis of accounting, you can also show the invoices that are going out to the customer. So there are several ways to justify it. But if your revenues have not been impacted for at least 1 quarter by at least 25%, you do not qualify for PPP round 2. In PPP round 2 compared to PPP round 1, if your business NAICS code is mainly for the restaurants, hotels, motels, it starts with 72. You can get 3.5 times as opposed to 2.5 times that we had in PPP 1 under PPP round 2. Similar to PPP round 1, you have 24 weeks to use this money. Similar to PPP round 1, if this money is used for the right purpose and they have expanded the use, what you can do with this money compared to PPP round 1, PPP round 2 has more flexibility built around it. The point is, if you use this PPP round 2 money for qualified purpose, you do not have to pay any income tax. So like PPP round 1, the money that you are getting is free. So all the more reasons for you to get the money. Before we wrap up, let's talk about PPP round 1, the loan forgiveness. So 6 months ago, when PPP round 1 initially came in, IRS, in conjunction with SBA, came up with 3508 application. This application had 8 pages and needed your name, your parents' name, your dog's name, your cat's. It was ridiculous. A lot of information was needed. After much complaint, SBA came up with a second application, a 2-pager, and they called it 3508 Easy. Well, let's not keep it complicated. Easy it is now. Even then, a lot of people were complaining that this application needed a lot of financial information justifying the impact of COVID-19, the adverse effect of COVID-19 on the business. So after much complaints, and you have to remember, a lot of these small businesses do not have the proper records. They don't have the proper financial records. They don't maintain the records, and they're still being impacted. They're still going through the COVID-19 situation. So government came up with a new application. They call it 3508S. S as in simple. It's a 1-pager application. It's more of an attestation that you attest, you certify that you used this money to retain the employees for the purpose that's described by the SBA for the qualified reasons, and that's why you request the money to be forgiven. If your loan is under less than $150,000, you have the right to use 3508 simple, 3508S, certify, and your loan will be forgiven. The onus remains on you. You are responsible to maintain the records, especially the payroll records, for 4 years. And remember, it's PPP we are talking about. It's all about payroll. It's all about employee retention. So you are responsible to keep the payroll records for 4 years, and every other record, all other records in terms of utility bill, the rent bill, for 3 years. SBA has the right to come back and ask for all these documents, even though as a part of the loan forgiveness process, they're not asking for this documentation. So PPP round 2 is free money, potentially. You should not miss it. If you qualify for it, don't go out of your way if your business is not impacted. You don't have to rush. There is $284 billion in this part. If you qualify for it, please go for it. If you have any question, if there is anything we can do, please let us know. My name again is Ajay Kumar. I'm an accountant, a CPA at Sai CPA Services.